Crazy Leveling System Chapter 4. Shi Xian stood there with a proud expression on her face, letting everyone know how high Yi Tianyuan's position was in her heart, and that Shi Xian was not afraid to be enemies with the spirit sect. In fact, Shi Xian was aware that the spirit sect didn't dare to disturb the peace. Even if Zhao Hualong was slapped, Zhao Hualong would not let that matter become a war. Although the comprehensive strength of Jade Palace was weaker than the spirit sect, with their connections to others, Jade Palace would be much stronger than the spirit sect. There were a lot of disciples from the Jade Palace who were married to outsiders. While Jade Palace status was not particularly high outside, they have no problem bringing in some support from outside. Zhao Hualong knew that his words were a bit excessive, but he was slapped. How could he bow down like this? So immediately sneered, "Lord Palace, she slapped me. That was undoubtedly a physical confrontation. This is not a simple matter. If he really didn't make a mistake, why didn't you let him go? Not because I want to embarrass him, but because he injured our disciples. Not only that, but he also even accused us of snatching the Dragon Blood Divine Pill. He thinks that we can't afford Dragon Blood Divine Pill by ourselves." He was furious that Shi Xian slapped him in front of so many people. His humiliation was unimaginable. "Is it? I repeat it again, I believe that Tianyuan would not beat people without reason. They want to snatch the Dragon Blood Divine Pill. Sure, you could afford this pill, but you won't use it on this trash. If you really insist, blame this on Tianyuan, then don't expect me to go down without a fight." The strong aura around Shi Xian had not dissipated, rising with every second, and anger was bubbling in her eyes. She thought that Yi Tianyuan would definitely lose. But that was not the only reason. The main reason was that his body was too weak, which made the consequences of losing far worse. If he was blasted out, even if he was not dead, he would be disabled for life. In any case, Shi Xian would not give in. This was her bottom line. Although her aura was strong, Yi Tianyuan, who was standing on one side, was suffering from the judgmental eyes staring at him from around them. A man standing behind a woman was considered to be a weakling that was equal to a chicken. In this world of martial arts, it was considered a very shameful action. Yi Tianyuan was not weak, nor was he a chicken. He always wanted to stand up and prove himself, prove that he was not trash, and prove that his aunt was not supporting the wrong person. "I will fight, I will represent Jade Palace." Yi Tianyuan stood up, looking indifferent. He did not retreat, he wasn't a coward. He stood boldly at this moment. Even if he died in the duel, he would stand up for himself. With firm eyes, unafraid of death, fearless, standing above his peers. Once he stopped speaking, the sound of the system sounded in his mind. Quest: defeat the disciples of the Spirit Sect Challenge and lead the Jade Palace to victory. Reward: 10,000 EXP, 100 gold, divine armor, common. Quest: this reward is quite good. Yi Tianyuan was very happy with this information. He did not expect to get such a quest. As long as he could complete it, the reward he received would be worth the trouble, especially the EXP. Just the treasure it was giving out. Doesn't it look like the level was a little low? Whether it was a weapon or a treasure, it was divided into several levels: common, spirit, holy, relic, and artifact. Yi Tianyuan's words attracted all the attention around him. Among them, Zhao Hualong squatted down, and a sneer twisted the corner of his mouth. It was a sly smile. He finally got what he wanted. If Shi Xian did not agree, he really couldn't do anything, but Yi Tianyuan agreed with himself, and that's perfectly fit his intentions. As for the spirit sect itself, Fang Chen was just a low-level disciple, they didn't really care about Fang Chen's life. However, Fang Yuyun was really angry. How could he not be angry if his little brother spent night and day with him died? As everyone knows, his little brother had become a victim and was immediately used by Zhao Hualong. Then the eyes of the female disciples of the Jade Palace watching Yu Tianyuan changed slightly. At least he did not choose to remain silent and let his aunt keep protecting him, instead choosing to stand up. This was how a man should act. Shi Xian hurriedly said to him, "Don't talk nonsense, this was not a joke." Her expression was very serious, or at least that's how Yu Tianyuan saw it. If I don't participate in this competition, then I can't call myself a man. Not worthy of aunt's protection. Yu Tianyuan smiled at her, his eyes were extremely firm. Shi Xian was surprised by Yu Tianyuan's gaze. She had never seen such fire in Yu Tianyuan's eyes. He's so determined to win. Immediately, she took a deep breath and replies to Zhao Hualong. "Okay, I agree. That's good, after half a month, I'll see you at the arena." Zhao Hualong sneered. "This was a life and death duel, so your death will be justified." At this time, Yu Tianyuan stood up and said coldly, "No problem, no matter what happens to me in this duel, stop troubling to our palace. This is interesting, this going to be your grave." Zhao Hualong sneered, and they yelled at Fang Yuyun, "Let's go." Fang Yuyun was taken aback. As Fang Yuyun left, he looked at Yu Tianyuan with a troubled gaze. Although he wanted to fight with Yu Tianyuan to the death, but he can't kill Yu Tianyuan with Shi Xian standing next to him. After they left, the entire Jade Palace was exploded with chatter, and no one was optimistic about Yu Tianyuan. In this battle, his cultivation was too weak, it's like he already lost even before he departed from battle. This was especially true due to Yu Tianyuan's lack of blood qi. If the battle dragged on even a little, he would lose. In the face of confusion and dissatisfaction of the entire Jade Palace, Yu Tianyuan's expression was still indifferent. He already experienced this kind of treatment before, and today was not too different than any other day. "Disperse," Shi Xian said with a wave. "Yes, Palace Lord." Many female disciples looked at Yu Tianyuan with disappointment as they left. This time, the winners and losers would decide the direction of things in the Jade Palace. They naturally did not want to see what the changes would be. When everyone left, Shi Xian said softly, "Don't force yourself, even if you lose, just keep your life. As long as you live, everything will be okay." "Aunt, do you believe in me?" Yu Tianyuan asked in a firm tone. "I believe you." Shi Xian nodded without hesitation, but immediately sighed, "But one must know what one can do if your body." As she said that, her eyes became watery, caused by her sadness. If there were no pills to supply Yu Tianyuan's blood qi, Yu Tianyuan would have already died. "I will win." Yu Tianyuan grabbed Shi Xian's small hand and smiled brightly. "Even if I stand at death's door, I don't want to kneel, let me be willful. I don't want my aunt to be criticized again, and I don't want my aunt to be wronged again." "Stupid child, what were you talking about?" Shi Xian's eyes were red, with tears framing her beautiful face. "Stupid child. Even though you were not that much older than me. You could even call me little brother." Yu Tianyuan reached out and brushed away her tears, but her eyes still held firmness. Yu Tianyuan returned to his room. After calming down himself and calming down his aunt, he returned his gaze to the crazy leveling system. Because of the chaos earlier, many things had not been clarified.